Good evening. Well, I would like to say, after looking at, and this is mostly what my account does and stuff. I go on Facebook and I develop my opinions. Either I type them out or I do webcasts. Now, one thing that I think is worth webcasting about is the hypocrisy that America has been engaged in for a while now. And when has that hypocrisy started? Some would say, okay, that would be from the whole start. But that's not the particular set of hypocrisy that they want to talk about. I want to talk about what's going on in the Middle East. Now, Rand Paul, not his father, is drafting now legislation to cut foreign aid to Egypt. What's the good idea behind that? And I'll tell you the good idea behind that because um, as a libertarian, one would have to wonder when your country is struggling because us and the International Monetary Fund, we decided to lock arms with the money controllers and started putting austerity on the European countries and having America lock arms and doing that as well, which that is a different topic altogether. However, what the libertarians will tell this is what the libertarians will tell you that we don't have the money, which is true. It is absolutely true that we do not have the money, and that is a good reason, a good worthy cause for the libertarians to say, okay, well, we can't give you money because we don't have it. If that was the case, why do we still fund Israel the way we do? And what do we get from them? Now, there is a very, very attractive woman on, on my Facebook that you know I see her every now and again. She has some really good articles on there. Her name is Syrian girl. I remember um, hearing some of her early stuff on her website, and it would say how the Americans were actually funding terrorists, and that the theory is that in um, wiping out your secular regimes, you're actually seeding terror. Um, Now, per a documentary called Dreams and Nightmares by BBC News Network, this documentary explains in great detail how the neoconservatives of the United States were the direct cause of the Muslim Brotherhood coming into power. But actually, it's the Muslim Brotherhood and the formation of it's not the CIA, it's not the Al Qaeda, it's not Al CIA, it's Taliban. The Taliban was supposed to be the liberation army for Afghanistan when they were fighting Russia. Now, what the big mistake the neoconservatives have has made in the past that we are still capitalizing off of in telling the lie that we're keeping the people over in the Middle East safe by perpetuating it was that these people, the the Mujah, the Mujah, Mujah, um, I'll get the name for you in a little bit. It's well the extremists that we now know who are in the main eyes of the media. They were prisoners back then. They were prisoners back then of their own governments. And when they defeated the Russians, they scattered to the winds after getting tons of American money and getting tons of American weapons. that action there was a direct result of that action has created the Muslim Brotherhood. The purpose of the Muslim Brotherhood was to run their country under theocracy. Is to fool everyone into thinking that they need this kind of protection. They need to be protected from the liberal West, because the liberal West will destroy them. It's just the same rhetoric that the neoconservatives had on their lips when they first went to war to fight Russia. There was an idea in Russia that the that wanted to come and conquer America with communism. That's what's now the now the end of the story is that the wet dream that just came true was that the Muslim Brotherhood is in power. The neoconservatives have an overseas enemy to fight, and not which says nothing for the homeland, which gives us permission to give our aid to whoever we want to give to over in the Middle East, as long as they do what we want them to do, and that is give us the resources. And I can talk a little bit later on how just exactly do we get those resources. Now, I believe a lot of you guys understand and pretty much know how we do that. Now, cutting off money from the from Egypt. Now, the seculars. This is a good time for Syria, I believe, because it's the secular regimes that has decided to say we're not going to take your crap, Muslim Brotherhood. You're not going to change our constitution. And when they decided to do that, the secular military came in under a unilateral front and ousted them. So we want to say. So what America wants to say is that there's a military coup. President Barack Obama says not to harm Mohammed Morsi. But everybody knows Mohammed Morsi was our boy. It's like Mohammed Morsi was our boy. So was the guy before him our boy. Mohammed Karzai is our boy. Saddam Hussein, when he was alive, is our boy. The current ruler, I would say ruler, in Iraq right now is our boy. And we're all following the same regime. And that is C secular DC secularism, because you cannot control the seculars. It's about control. So with the addition to saying, okay, well, we're going to take our money from Egypt, it's pretty much telling everybody out loud what it is our plans really are. Our plans are not democracy. If we were for democracy, we would help the seculars. But we want to fight terror by creating terror. So we help the Muslim Brotherhood, which is an old policy that we have to abolish. And I mean, I can understand the rest of the world saying, oh my God, what is going on with Barack Obama? I thought Barack Obama was going to do something different. Wrong. Wrong, because the rest of us black folk who who understands just a little bit of like well just a little bit about what's going on. Like I would get conversations from people all the time. They would say, okay, well, if we were not in control, then somebody else would do the same thing that we're doing. Well, the rebuttal to that is, yes, it would happen like that if they were in the same mindset as you. This philosophy is different. Why the fear to lose control causes you to do some pretty irrational stuff. All right, what do you think?